guys, welcome back to a new video. I decided to take my mind off this one long ass video I'm making. It's my top 50 horror movies in my collection. I'm halfway through that video and I've been editing it for about a week. So I'm trying to, just step back from that for a little bit to get kind of a mind cleanser, I guess. Today, I'm talking about a 2008 Ryan Nicholson film by the name of GUTTERBALLS. It is a bowling alley slasher film. Yeah, what else is there to say? Before we start, I'd like to get a little bit serious before you guys intend to go seek out this movie. This movie does contain scenes of sexual assault, multiple sexually charged themes, graphic and disturbing imagery, and multiple scenes including demeaning slurs and demeaning actions towards the LGBTQ+ community. You have been warned, but now let's get into this review. The story of this film is about two groups of kids. One that we can look at as the good kind. I say the good kind in air quotes because everybody in this movie is unlikable and, doesn't really deserve to be kind of shouted out in this movie. Nobody's likable in this film. But we can look at one group as sort of the good kind and one group as sort of the opposing force besides the slasher. The one group comprises of 5-ish people and the other group comprises of 4. Only 3 of them are versing each other in a match that they want to have. In the beginning of the film, they end up fighting in the bowling alley, and the owner of the bowling alley kicks them out, says they can't be in here anymore because they fought. So he said they could come back the next day, but they better be on their P's and Q's. That's when this one girl forgets her purse and goes back in, and the 4 guys from earlier sexually assault her. And that kind of kickstarts the things that'll happen in this movie. The next day, they all come back and intend to do the same thing that they did before, bowl against each other 3v3, and that's when they notice something called BBK is up on the scoreboard, and every time somebody dies, there's a little skull with crossbones intending a strike, which I thought was an actually really cool thing in the movie because, every time somebody dies, it adds a little strike point to, keep up the body count and show, like, what it's coming to. Even though there is a scene in the movie towards the end where they kind of just forget about that and move on. Nevertheless, this killer with a bag over his head, very poor mask choice, but it kind of worked for this low-budget film, starts slowly picking them off one by one, and yeah, that's the spoiler-free story of GutterBalls so far, because I'm not talking about deaths and stuff. If that turned you off in any way with what I was describing with some scenes, please do not go seek out this film, and if you do, please tread with caution, okay? I'm making this sound like it's one of the most gory and vile slashers of all time, when honestly, when I was watching it, I sat down expecting a gory mess for something for gorehounds to love, but I got a way more sleazy Terrifier, which is kind of not even true because Terrifier is more violent than this movie. Let me just start you off with some knowledge that you need to know for this film. This film was written and directed by Ryan Nicholson, who sadly passed away in 2019 because he lost his battle with cancer. Rest in peace, Ryan Nicholson. To name some people, excuse my reading here because these names are absolutely insane for some of the actors. We have starring Alistair Gamble, Mihola Terzic, sorry if I mispronounced that, which I definitely did, Nathan Witt, and Wade Gibb, just to name a few. I got the Unearthed Films Blu-ray, as you can see. I'll pick it up and show you guys with that cool cover art, and you can tell by the Unearthed sticker on the bottom or the Unearthed banner. So yeah, that's just some things that I wanted to shout out about this movie. Before I get into what I noticed during the film, okay? First off, I want to start with the audio quality of this film. It is god-awful, man. It is really hard sometimes to tell what people are saying, probably because this is a low-budget film. They couldn't afford high-grade equipment or a high-grade mic to, catch what everybody's saying at one time, because there are scenes where people talk over each other and everything is just clashing and it doesn't work. But there's some scenes where you can kind of get by and tell what's going on. So yeah, the audio quality is not the best, and I wish it was. Yeah. Some of the acting in this film is quite funny, meaning some of the actors are just kind of bad, not trying their best, and some of the acting literally just is funny. The one dude that plays the main dickhead is just hilarious throughout the whole film. He's demanding people, yelling at people to go get him stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all so weird. And that I thought was pretty hilarious, especially if I was watching it with a friend and we thought it was funny. The soundtrack to this film is absolutely great. I don't know if I can play any of it here. I'll play a little bit of it at the end of the video, just, you know, the trailer music and showing off what the trailer is, but man, was the soundtrack in this movie so good, and it fits well for what they're trying to, you know, portray. It's kind of like a late 80s horror soundtrack feel, which is actually really, really cool. I really loved that. Some of the editing in this film is jarring and weird. Like, sometimes there's way too many cuts, sometimes there's weird editing choices, but that never brought me out of the movie, really. I kind of thought it kind of fit for this film, because this film is so bizarre and out there. I feel like it could get away with something like that. There is a lot of nudity in this film. A whole bunch. I mean, there's got to be at least like 20-30 minutes worth of nudity in this film. There's absolutely insane amount of it. Again, I warned you about that. So yeah, if you intend to go seek out this movie, be warned, and there's an uncomfortable scene with nudity, obviously the sexual assault scene, that, you know, should be taken into consideration when you go seek out this film. The ADR, which stands for Automated Dialogue Recording, is also god-awful. Dude, is it bad. Oh my god. I was sat in this very chair right here watching it, and I was absolutely just, I was like, there was a scene where I just got pressed because of how horrible it sounded. It sounded like it was recorded on an iPhone 5. It was bad. It was really, really, really bad. And the last bullet points I have for some of my observations is the sound design in this movie. It's decent, okay? I say that because some of the gore sound effects and the sound design that they make for people walking and, you know, getting freaking bashed in their head with a bowling pin, it's graphic, okay? But there's some scenes that sound absolutely horrible with their kill, meaning it just sounds too over the top. It was absolutely jarring in some scenes, but it fit well in others. There was just no consistency with the audio design. Now we get to the segment where I get to show off my favorite kill, which probably will have to be blurred for this video, due to the fact that this kill is graphic, and it is one of the most graphic in the movie. I don't remember the guy's name. I'll put him up on screen, but he is at a hot waxer, like a hot bowling ball waxer, and the killer comes up behind him and starts sticking his head in there, and his head gets mutilated and blood's flying everywhere, and everything is just going insane, everything's just everywhere, and he pulls his head out, you know, after grinding it for like a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. It goes on for a little bit too long. But he pulls it up and his head's just gone, and thank God that character died. That character was like the most hateable character in the whole movie. So yeah, that was the best kill, and what I've deemed as the best kill for this video. My final rating of this film, okay? I went into this film expecting an absolute gore fest, and one of the most violent and vile slashers I've ever seen. I ended up getting a film that was a little less violent than Terrifier, especially by today's standards. The effects aren't that great, and the audio quality being poor, the acting being low budget, everything is just a low budget feel. But guess what? None of that low budgetness really got to me besides the audio. I'm going to give GUTTERBALLS a 55% because I feel that that's the best rating for this movie. It's middle of the road, okay? There's movies that are way better than it, and there's movies that are way worse. And trust me, I have seen a lot of bad movies. I have a lot of them collected. So yeah, I give GUTTERBALLS a staggering 55%, which honestly is not bad. But that means It Kills Camp Blood 7 does beat it, okay? Which I done some reworking to the Camp Blood 7 review. I was being a little bit generous with the rating, even though I did really like that film. I'm thinking that that film was more of a 66% or a 67, 68 maybe. But does it beat GUTTERBALLS? Not with its quality and cheesiness, but GUTTERBALLS falls behind because of some of the choices it makes and how hard it is to watch at some scenes. So yeah, my ranking so far with all of my reviews, which is only 2, It Kills, Camp Blood 7, and then GUTTERBALls. Coming just below It Kills. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try to get the 50 movie video out as soon as possible. I've just been so freaking caught up with editing it, and I wanted to take a step back, have a little breather, and talk about this film I got finally after I've been looking for about like a year to find this movie for cheap. Man, this movie is not cheap. And I finally found a copy that I could pick up at a reasonable price. So I did. And I'm not disappointed, honestly. GutterBalls is a graphic time. It's something for gorehounds, but just be, wary if you go seek out this film. There is scenes that I've discussed before. So yeah, that has been my review of GutterBalls. My name is Walker. I'm the kid who talks about horror movies, and I will see you